Thursday has given us a crazy day of football as Arsenal drop points yet again in the title race, allowing City to close the gap to just 4 points, while Barcelona absolutely obliterated by Atletico Madrid in their first leg of the Copa del Rey semifinal. What lies ahead for both teams? We'll talk about all of that and more. If you're here for the Barca tie, skip forward a little bit. In fact, I'll leave a timestamp in the description below. You can skip forward to that part of the review. But we're going to start at the G-Tech Community Stadium, where Brentford have gotten a point against Arsenal, and honestly, could have been more. This game, from the jump, felt like it was destined for a draw, in my opinion. The way it was played, the pace it was played, just the manner both sides approached it, very cautious, not too many opportunities in that first half. And I think the most damning takeaway from that first 45 minutes was Eberechi Eze, and the decision to hook him at halftime is a damning one. But honestly, not the wrong decision. £67.5 million was the fee Arsenal parted this summer to acquire the services of Eberechi Eze. And I'd be lying if I sat here and told you guys I knew this would happen. I thought that Eberechi Eze was ready for the next step in his career, and joining an Arsenal side who seemed devoid of a maverick-type player in midfield was a perfect fit for both parties. But this has been an unmitigated disaster. Let's call it what it is. Let's stop trying to be cute and nice here, right? Eberechi Eze joined in the summer, boyhood Arsenal fan, former academy graduate, released when he was a kid, coming back, let it all work out. It all seemed like a beautiful story. But if we're being real here, guys, the only reason it feels like Eze isn't just getting destroyed by the UK media in terms of his performances, like other big name signings have been in the past and continue to be this season, almost feels like a bit of sympathy because he is one of their own and because the story was so nice and he scored against Spurs and he rejected Spurs. That seems to be the only reason people are kind of refusing to kind of say it how it is with Eze. He has found life extremely difficult these first few months at Arsenal. In fact, it's not a few months anymore. We're more than halfway through the season, and it remains to be seen what his impact is in most games, to the point that I feel, watching Arteta's reactions on the touchline, he is starting to get a little tired of him as well too. And again, the decision to take him off at halftime was not a shock to anybody because he contributed little to nothing, as he has done most of this season. Odegaard came on for him, and to be honest with you, didn't light the world up either, but at least got involved from the word go, which is more than you can say about Eze this game. And Arsenal got an opener in this game through the way you would kind of expect. A cross into the box from Hincapié, which was a fantastic delivery, honestly, so beautifully curled into the head of Noni Madueke, who did really, really well to leap over his defender and give Arsenal a 1-0 win. And Arsenal 1-0 up with majority of the second half left. You kind of just expect them at this point to, put their foot on the ball, become a bit more rigid, become a bit more compact, and see the game out. That's really what Arsenal are strong at doing. When they take a 1-0 lead, you very rarely see them give it up. I know what happened a few weeks ago against United, but for the most part, they get that 1-0 lead. It's tough to get back into the game. But honestly, you look at the game post Madueke's goal, and it was all Brentford. Arsenal didn't register a shot for about 30 minutes of that second half. And it just felt like wave after wave after wave of Brentford attacks. Igor Thiago was the guy that everyone looked at going into this game because he's been so prolific in front of goal this season. But actually, his hold-up play was really, really impressive today, up against Gabriel, up against Mosquera, and really showing himself to be an absolute handful. Igor Thiago makes me laugh, man. The guy looks like he's 35, but he's a 24-year-old player. And I think part of that is the reason why maybe, despite scoring 16 Premier League goals, he hasn't gotten as much credit as other players have who have honestly performed worse than he has. I think a lot of it is from an aesthetic point of view, as crazy as that is to sound, but I think he was really, really good today. And honestly, if he was just a little bit quicker, I think he would have grabbed a goal or two today. He had some terrific flicks past Mosquera and hold up against Gabriel where he would spin him, but honestly just wasn't sharp enough in the final moments to really get ahead of steam, build some separation of his defender, and finish past Raya. He did so well up until the moment where you just need a bit of explosiveness, a bit of burst. And unfortunately for Igor Thiago, that's just not his game. He's actually very, very good technically. He's very good hold-up play. But in terms of just running with the ball, that's not his forte. However, he really made life difficult for Arsenal and was the real outlet for Brentford attacks, where they would just pump the ball up to him and just build from there. But the goal came in the way you probably would have expected it. Michael Coyote, long throw all the way to the far post, with a flick on into the path of Lewis Potter to give Brentford a priceless goal and make it 1-1. And if you had to predict how Brentford would score today, a long throw-in probably would have been the case. Michael Coyote is proving to be an absolute weapon for this Brentford team. This is like Rory Delap vibes. That long throw is so valuable to this team, especially in this era of Premier League football where the ball is in the air more than it's been in 10 years. Long balls, long throws, set pieces, free kicks, direct play from goal kicks. This is back in style. So to have a weapon of Michael Coyote, and by the way, he's a very good footballer as well too, but to have that long throw in his arsenal, no pun intended, is priceless. And to be honest with you, if the game is going to continue to go the way it has been this season, I wouldn't be surprised to see many Premier League teams look at Michael Coyote and think to themselves, first of all, he's a good player, so it's not like we're signing a scrub here, but also that throw at our club, boy, we could make movies with it. It was a terrific throw-in thing. I don't know, is it a set piece? Is it a throw-in? What do we call that? It was, whatever you call it, it was terrifically executed, and Brentford were well worth their goal. And honestly, from then, they looked like the side more likely to get a second. And I think today, Arsenal are fortunate to get away with a draw. Even in the first half, tell a lie, Igor Thiago had a huge chance that David Raya got really low and fast down to. It's becoming a bit of a David Raya special, that low reflex save. Fantastic save to keep it 0-0. But today, if it wasn't for Raya and Mosquera, those last-ditch tackles and saves, Arsenal would have lost this game. Yes, they had a chance right at the very death where Jurriën Timber threw on goal, plays it into Martinelli, takes a touch, and saved by Kelleher. But that was their first shot for about 30 minutes of the game. Overall, could you say a draw is deserved? Maybe, but I think if any team can feel hard done by and feel like they could have gotten a little more from this game, I think it's going to be Brentford, which tells you kind of what Arsenal gave you this game. And it also tells you that they're now only 4 points ahead of Manchester City. And honestly, I think this Arsenal team's really good. I do. They're top of the Champions League for a reason. They're top of the Prem for a reason. They're in all 4 competitions. They might win a Carabao Cup. They are a great team. But wow, do they make life difficult for themselves? Do they make life difficult for themselves? They absolutely do. No team are the creators of their own demise as much as this Arsenal team are. This game, the minute they went up, should have been seen out seamlessly. And alas, it's another game where you look at it from Arsenal. I know their fans will say, how can you say it's another game? We're ahead of the top of the league for a reason. I get that. But come on. We all know this side should be 15 points clear in the table. For Arsenal to have had as many opportunities to put their foot on City's throat, step on it with all their force, kill them, and run away with this title for as many games as City dropped, for the lead to only be 4 points is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. And from this point on, if Arsenal allow this City team to really catch up, to make it a 3-point swing or less by the time they get to the Etihad, I'm sorry. That's when the alarm bells got to start ringing. For the most part, it's still in their hands. 4 points. But it just shouldn't be 4 points. And I think if I'm an Arsenal fan today, I'm pulling my hair out because you have been afforded so many opportunities this season to run away and not even look back. And I think it's another day today where you failed to take advantage. It absolutely is. And it often comes where City play the day before, City drop points, and all eyes go on to Arsenal to take advantage. I know City won yesterday, but these slip-ups from Arsenal often come when they play the day after City. And I was speaking to Phil Jones about it, and I asked him, as a guy who's won the Premier League and lost Premier League title races, did you prefer playing before your opposition or after? And he said, to be honest with you, I preferred playing before because then we can take care of business and whatever happens after that happens. But when we have to respond after another team has already played, there's always that pressure in the back of your mind. You always have their result in the back of your mind. And I think that pressure is starting to tell for Arsenal. But I look at this attack, right? And as much as we talk about Arsenal defensively, as much as we talk about David Raya being borderline or maybe even just flat out a world-class goalkeeper, as much as we talk about Rice and Zubimendi, the conversation continues to return back to the attack. And it's why I continue to say this will be one of the best defensive teams to ever win the Premier League, in my opinion. But it will also be one of, if not the worst attacking side I have seen win the Premier League. I look at this attack today that played in Madueke, Gyökeres, and Trossard, and with all due respect, that is not an elite attacking trio. It's not. It's not at all. And then I like Bukayo Saka a lot. He's not playing at an elite level this year. Kai Havertz has shown that he's a very good player, but he's been injured most of the season. Gabriel Jesus is unreliable. Martinelli's better coming off the bench. It's not a great attacking team. Then you couple that with Odegaard and Eze. That is something that is severely hurting Arsenal right now. It is. If they win the league, it is down to being an absolute juggernaut of a team defensively. But going forward, if Arsenal don't win the league, I'm sorry, there's only one group of players that you can look at and point fingers, and that's those attackers. They're not doing enough. I'm looking at Gyökeres today. Honestly, from a hold-up play, it was actually one of his better games. But then even when he manages to spin a defender, he almost always ends up losing it. I look at Madueke, well-taken goal. But outside of that, nothing to his game. Trossard today was relatively anonymous in my opinion. I'd already talked about Odegaard and Eze. I don't know with this Arsenal team right now. Like, that is severely holding them back from being a really great team to undoubtedly, wow, these guys are unbelievable. I think that's massively holding back this side. And I don't want to say that this is time to panic because it isn't. There's still a lot of this season left to play. But for me, it is startling and uncomfortable how quickly a period in the season where it looked like Arsenal could run away with this has now ended up being a 4-point lead over City. That's crazy. But we'll see, man. We'll see. We go to Barcelona. 4-0 to Atletico Madrid. Honestly, if you didn't watch this game, 4-0. It sounds crazy, but dare I say it, that almost undersells the result. Ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona were down 4-0 at halftime. After 45 minutes, the referee blew the halftime whistle and Barcelona were down 4-0. And to make matters worse, 4-0 was flattering for Barcelona. This game genuinely could have been 7-0 at halftime. Atleti missed so many easy, open, gilt-edged chances that would have made this the most humiliating result in Barcelona's entire history. And they've had some humiliating ones. Let's not get it twisted. 4-0 at Anfield, 8-2 to Bayern, 7-0 over aggregate to Bayern. They've had some bad losses. But guys, this is up there. This is really, really up there. 4-0 at halftime, could have been 7 or 8. I don't even know where to get started with this, right? Because I actually, in the first half, was watching this game more than the Arsenal game. I obviously had them both up, but I had my attention really on this game. Because every time I looked up, Barcelona were being hit 3v1 on the counter, 4v2 on the counter, 5v3 on the counter. Some of the defending today was genuinely childish. That's the only word I can use to describe the defending today. Forget about amateurish, forget about messy. It was childish. It felt like I was watching 11 children trying to keep up with 11 men. The system was so disorganized. The amount of space Atletico Madrid had was so open. The amount of times Atletico Madrid runners could just run off Barcelona defenders. And there was so much space between the two of them. It's a childish performance from Barcelona. And to make matters even worse, they went into this game missing Pedri, arguably their most important player, arguably their best player, and they went into it missing Rafinha as well too. Lewandowski as well too, missing from the starting 11. And yet, you would think that's the perfect excuse for Hansi Flick to look at his side and say, okay, we're not heavily manned today. We're missing key guys. Let's try and do damage limitation in the first half. Let's try and make this as close as possible. Let's maybe adapt a little, tweak a little, because we're missing big players that are going to hurt our chances of winning. And then in the second leg, because it is 2 legs, then go all out. That would be the perfect example, as well as just allowing Hansi Flick the opportunity to experiment a little. And what did this guy do? Nope. Missing my most important player, missing one of my main captains of the team, missing Lewandowski. What should I do? Play the same exact way. No problem. Why would I change? I'm missing my most important players, but why would I change? I mean, seriously, today, Barca were so exposed by Atletico Madrid. And to be honest with you, the thing with Barca is this shouldn't be that much of a surprise because they run the risk of this kind of result every single week. Every single week, the opposition has huge goal-scoring opportunities to punish Barca. And for the most part, they have an alien net in Joan Garcia, and on occasion, they'll get very fortunate with their offside trap that is just narrowly keeping guys offside. But they really ride their luck most weeks. Today, their luck ran out. And I always compare Barcelona to playing Russian roulette. But I'm sorry. Today, the opposition, Atletico Madrid, every single shot that they let off was fully loaded. It was a full clip today against Atletico Madrid. Every shot that they wanted came off. Seriously. Like, it was so bad today. Lookman grabbing a goal. He could have had 2 or 3. Griezmann, the goal that he scores today. It's such bad defending from Barca. Not even in terms of their high line, but also tracking runners. Frankie de Jong, what are you doing in that situation? Antoine Griezmann, at his big age, is allowed to literally walk into the penalty box, completely unassuming. No one thinks to follow him, and he's left with the easiest finishes. When Joan Garcia makes a mistake like he did for the first goal, that's when you know that your night is potentially going to be disastrous. Joan Garcia has been their most, not reliable, well, maybe he is their most reliable player this season when you think of the amount of saves that he's required to make. But when he makes a mistake like he does, albeit the ground, the pass wasn't the most perfect, but he's got to be doing way better there. That's when you know that you are set for an absolutely awful night. But I'm sorry, as much as you can look at every single Barcelona player today and say, you let yourselves down. I mean, Eric Garcia with the red card at the end. And I know some people will look at the VAR decision, 8 minutes to make a call. Was it the right one at the end of the day? Debatable, right? Honestly, Barca maybe could have grabbed the goal there. But for the most part, every single Barca player today was not up to the races. But I can't look past Hansi Flick. No matter how bad his players played, I have to look at the manager in the situation. Because I feel like as a coach, your main job is to set your players up to perform to the best of their abilities. Then platform them correctly. And if they don't perform from there, look at the players by all means. But at least platform them correctly. At least give them the opportunity to go out there and play their best games. The way Hansi Flick set his team up today gave his side no chance. He gave them zero chance whatsoever. And genuinely, 4-0 is flattering to this team. Today was so bad, it's low-key a sackable offense from Hansi Flick. I would never say sack Hansi Flick because I think he's a great coach. And I don't think they should sack him. But if they fired him tomorrow, I'm sorry, that's a performance that gets managers sacked. It was that bad. Do they have a chance in the second leg? I mean, if any team would do it, it is Barca, because just like they can concede 4, they can score 5. But do you actually back Barcelona not to concede more goals even at the Camp Nou? I don't whatsoever. Yeah, they could score 4 goals next week. They could also concede 2 or 3. It's that volatile from the team. And it remains why I think they will probably win La Liga. Because first and foremost, I don't really rate Real Madrid, and I think Barca have enough for most of the teams in Spain to really outscore most of them. But I'm sorry, the Champions League is a write-off. They might make it to the quarterfinal or semifinal again. I have no idea. It depends on the draw. But the minute they face up against a somewhat serious defense that can hit you on the counterattack, this team is going home. You cannot win a Champions League playing this way. They have the players to win it, no doubt about it. Yamal, Rafinha, Lewa, Pedri, they have a fantastic squad. But the way they play is kamikaze. It is kamikaze. It's the biggest catch-22 in the game. They could score 5. They could also score 5, and it all comes down to the way they're set up. Today is the prime example of why Barcelona in Europe, it's a write-off. Forget about it. Not the way they're playing. They have to do major tweaks to ever do something serious in Europe, because the way they're playing right now, they run the risk of being humiliated even worse than they were today up against better opposition. Because take nothing away from Atletico Madrid. They were fantastic today. They were exhilarating. They felt like old school Atleti with the aggression that they played with, the intensity, the intent. And I haven't had that much fun watching Atletico Madrid play in years. Lookman looks a fantastic signing for them. He looks like he's taken to life so well, so early on. But also at the same time, guys, this Atletico Madrid team is not a special side. They are not like, wow, one of the best 5 sides in the world. With all due respect, they've been shown up quite a few times across Europe this season, Arsenal being one of them. If Atletico Madrid can do this to you on your bad day, what can the likes of PSG do against you? What can the likes of Bayern Munich do against you? What can the likes of City, of Arsenal do against you on a bad day? If it was 4-0 today, boy, I would hate to see what happens on a bad day for Barca against the truly elite sides. It could get ugly. That's my thoughts on the game, man. I was really disappointed from Barcelona today because I wanted to see a good game between 2 top sides, and this was anything but competitive. Congratulations to Atletico Madrid. I fully expect them to see them in the final, and I hope Simeone can add more trophies. I really do, because I like Diego Simeone, and I think his resume deserves more honors for how great a coach he has been. But that's my thoughts on Barca. That's my thoughts on Arsenal. Let me know down in the comment section below. What game did you watch? What big takeaways did you have? And as for Arsenal, is it time to be worried yet? Let me know down below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.